What's up everybody, it's Owen here from Devil's Watches. It's Friday, you know what that means, a new video. Today we're going to talk about an English football player, Dele Alli, who during the week had his home broken into and they stole over £300,000 worth of watches. So today we're going to talk about the watches they took, what actually happened, and what this means for other people who have expensive watches or are thinking about buying expensive watches. So before we do that, wrist check. I'm wearing an old Citizen watch that my dad got for his 21st birthday party. There's just something about wearing a gold watch that just makes you feel on top of the world. And before we get into the video, can you please do a few things for me? Turn that little tone blue, hit the subscribe button, and check out www.devilwatches.com. So now, let's get into the video. Okay, first things first, who is Dele Alli? Put a picture up here. He's a 24-year-old soccer player that plays for Tottenham Hotspurs and England. They play in the top league in England, which is the Premier League, and he's probably one of the more well-paid players in the league. So on Wednesday morning, early Wednesday morning, two men broke into his house, held him at knife point, and took jewellery and watches on him. There was also his girlfriend in the house and his brother. The house was guarded by a security guard and is a gated house, but the security guard didn't notice anyone come in or out, and he's probably lost his job. So it's not the first time this has happened to a soccer player. One of his teammates, the same thing happened in March when he went away to play over in Europe for a night. Someone broke in, his wife and children were there, and they made off with watches. And late last year in 2019, two players from Arsenal, which is another team located in London, were attacked and their two watches were, well, nearly robbed. Your man was arrested and their watch's value was over 200,000 between the two watches, and that man got 10 years in prison. So when you're talking about watches of this value, you need to realize that like this is bigger than robbing a shop. It's big, it's on a bank level nearly, like the money that's involved. So Dele Alli had three watches that were worth £350,000. So now we're going to get on and talk about what the actual watches were. So the first watch that was taken, well, it wasn't the first watch that was taken, they were all taken at the same time. The first watch we're going to talk about is this one, a Richard Mille 1103. The watch of celebrities. Every celebrity has a Richard Miles. Do I like them? No, they're a bit too transformer looking for me. Do I appreciate them? Yes. Do I think they're excellent at what they do? Yes. It's watchmaking at its finest. Yes, I agree. I did try one on before. I tried to be fancy and I went to a jazz bar when I was over in Australia, and I met this really drunk man that was wearing one, and I had a few beers too, and we got talking watches and he was wearing it. I said, can I try it on? And he says yes, which was kind of stupid on his behalf because it's a lot of money to just, you wouldn't just give 150,000 euros. Someone say, yeah, you can hold it in a pub, but whatever. He gave me a go. I tried it on. It felt as light as a feather. I'd probably never buy one if I did have the money, but I can see why people like them. So next we're going to watch number 2. And next we have the second watch of the collection, which is this, an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Chrono in either rose gold or gold. It's a badass watch. There's a lot of gold going on there. Would it be for me? I don't think I could pull it off. I think you'd have to be a celebrity or someone of that kind of standard to pull this watch off. It's not your everyday watch that you'd wear, but to him, he likes it. It's the cheapest of all the watches that were taken. This retails around 50,000. It's one of the most famous designs in watches, the Royal Oak. It was developed by Gerard Genta, who's one of the most famous watch designers. The idea with this watch was it's one of the first steel sports watches. So when this came out in the early 70s, it was a new concept, which nowadays is a normal concept. But back then, it was an expensive, really expensive watch in steel. While every other expensive watch was either in gold or platinum or some other kind of gold. So it really changed the watch industry in the sense that now everyone looks at their sports watches and nearly prefers steels. Everything's in steel. It's unusual to see something in gold or platinum. But it's a beautiful watch. If I was to get one, I probably would get one in steel. They do a beautiful one with a blue face. But it's what he likes. You can tell by his collection there's a lot of gold and a lot of kind of bling or kind of look at me kind of watches, but that's what he likes. That's his opinion and he's entitled to that. So now on to the third and final watch. Next up in the third watch we have a Patek Philippe, the novelist, 59.80. I put up here, beautiful watch in gold again. A lot of gold going on in this collection, and that's what he's into. That's his style. Fair play to you. But not really a watch for me. I'd either have one or the other in gold. I don't think I'd have two pure gold watches in my collection because they kind of fill the same void. But it's a beautiful style watch, the same as the Royal Oak, designed by Gerard Genta, one of the best designers or watch designers we've ever had. The idea is that it's based on a ship window or a porthole, as you can probably tell by looking at it, and with each bit on the side is to represent hinges. So it's just a beautifully designed watch. It was developed in, I think, 76, and they developed it because Patek saw what AP were doing with the Royal Oak and the steel sports watch and the following that was getting, so they felt that they needed their own steel sports watch, so they came up with the Nautilus. But the price was a lot higher than the AP. Some of their marketing kind of, I nearly say joked, saying the expensive watch, the most expensive watches these days are in steel, which they knew was kind of didn't make sense, because when you buy a gold watch, you're buying the watch and you're buying the precious metal as well. So it kind of turned the whole watch, that the 70s with the Royal Oak first, and then this kind of turned the whole industry on its side and made people more appreciate more steel watches. So these are two watches that I think are both beautiful designed watches. Are they in gold? Is that the best thing for them? No. Maybe you might have one in gold and one in stainless steel, or I'd probably have both in stainless steel. I don't think I'd be able to pull off that much gold. But I have to give credit to Dele Alli. If you're watching Dele Alli, fair play to you for having such a nice, small, compact collection. A lot of people and celebrities, when they get money, they just go out and buy all the watches they can find, and they end up not wearing these watches or having too many watches, or don't have any meaning or connection with these watches. When someone only has 3 watches, it usually means that they buy watches at very special occasions. Maybe their first pro contract, maybe it was the year they got to the Champions League, maybe something that happened in his personal life. So it just shows that like he actually did appreciate these watches. He wasn't going just buying watches for the sake of them. They obviously marked milestones, and he said that the most devastating thing is not the price of the watch, it's what the watch means to him. And we all know that this is a perfect example. To me, my dad's watch he got for his 21st means a lot to me, probably the same to my brother. But if anyone else was to put the watch on, it probably wouldn't be worth the value to them that it is to me. So that's a great thing about watches, their stories. You can put a story and connect it with a watch. So fair play to Dele Alli for having such a nice compact collection, and hopefully someday he will receive all his watches again. So, and then on a final note, and really the whole moral of the story is the reason I did this video, is I just want people to know, if you have expensive watches, or if you have anything expensive and you're putting on social media, or you're telling people about it, you're looking, not that you're looking for trouble, it's not your fault that someone gets robbed, but you have to be careful of where you put your pictures of your watches. You'd be surprised if you put a picture of your watch in your sitting room or living room, and you take a wristwatch and you go boom, and you take a picture of your whatever $250,000 watch, and then they see there's patio doors or a big window that's right in the sitting room, and then you know they can suss out your house from pictures you take around your house. They just have to go through your Instagram account to see, okay, here's the door, here's his hallway, here's the stairs, here's his bedroom, this is probably where he keeps the watches. So with everything with social media, you have to be very careful with your watches. If you do want to post pictures of your watches, do what a lot of people do, set up a separate account that is just dedicated to your watches. And no name on it, no location on it, no pictures of yourself, nothing, just your watches. So then you still get the enjoyment of taking pictures of your watches and posting them on the internet and getting the feedback from people, but you have to be very careful where you put your watch. I know it sounds stupid, but even small, like a $5,000 watch, it's a lot of money. And when you think of watches, it's a currency that can be hidden very quick, it can be moved around easy. It's as close to cash as you'll probably get. You can put a watch in your pocket and no one will know you have that on you. If you have a watch in your pocket that's worth 200,000, you try to put 200,000 euro worth of cash in your pocket, it doesn't work. So watches are a very easy way to trade, to make money quick if you can't steal them. But just be careful, and especially in nightclubs, like the story with the jazz club, be careful who's talking to you. If a girl comes up to you in a nightclub and starts giving you all the talk, and you you know, you have a few beers and you're trying to show off, and you're like, oh yeah, well, like, this is my new Rolex and this and that, and I own this and I own that. These people know what they're doing. The professionals, they'll just have someone waiting outside, and when you walk home, or that girl might go home with you, and then before you know, you wake up and your watch is gone, and it's nearly your own fault. So in saying that, also be careful where you buy your watches. I know we're saying, oh, if someone takes a watch on you, but when you get a watch, be careful where you buy it. Don't go buying it off someone you don't know. Don't go buying it off someone that doesn't have a big presence, maybe online, or a brick and mortar store, or they have some kind of feedback or credibility from other people. You always have to buy the seller. Don't buy the watch, buy the seller. So it is a small community out there. If you are into stealing watches or whatever, and you do try and sell these watches, there's not many of these watches around, so people will be wary. Like, I know with these watches, Dele Alli came out and said that a lot of his friends, because a lot of the soccer players will be the big buyers of watches in England, they all have their eye out. They've all gone to their watch dealers, their watch guys, so everyone's looking out for these watches. So you have to be careful where you put your watches, where you buy your watches, and who you talk to about your watches. I'm part of a watch group, and we do meetups, and at the start the meetup location was held to the very end. We knew it would be in Dublin, but we were never told where it would be. At the time when I heard it first, I was kind of like, oh, it's a bit dramatic, like not telling them, like, what's the reason behind this, or people were vetted before they came into the group. It's not just like anyone can sign up for the group, you know, you have to ask to be a member of the group, and then they'd obviously go through your account, your personal account, and try and make out who you are, because it's a lot of money at these watch meetups. You know, if someone comes up and shows up at the day and suss people out, and then says, okay, I'll follow this guy home, and he lives in this area, I know he lives in that house, and he was showing me watches that were worth 15,000. This works at all levels. It doesn't have to be the $200,000 watches. So the moral of the story is, what I'm really saying is, be safe where you post pictures of your watches. Be safe who you talk to people about your watches, and also be careful where you buy your watches. There's lots of great communities out there where you can talk watches, or you will find your friends, and just keep your watch talk to your watch friends. Don't go out there showing out who you are or what you have or what you need to prove to other people that you have this watch or that watch. Just buy the watch for you, you enjoy it, but always be careful when you're wearing that watch. So that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I feel sorry for Dele Alli. I hope that they do get found. The thing with watches, every watch is marked and numbered, so if they do ever come up, hopefully he will get them back. But it's a terrible ordeal to have someone in your house, especially at this time when everyone's home and we're on lockdown. The fact that these people knew that they were going into a house that probably had people, so it's scary, but this is the world we live in. So stay safe out there and look after your watches, and always have a good safe. Okay, thanks, and please subscribe again.